It's a new year, and a lot of people are deciding to start off the new year by taking on dry January and putting down the bottle for a month. However, we're seeing a growing trend among American adults that they're putting down the bottle forever and moving away from drinking entirely. So in this video, we are going to explore this trend, why people are moving away from drinking, and we're going to talk about the impact on the alcohol market. We could think about bars and breweries, and also the impact on alternative markets like the growing marijuana market. So we're going to cover it all. You're going to want to stick around. Before we get started, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube. Really appreciate your support. I'm also going to put a QR code down below for a Bitcoin tip. So if you want to support the channel, feel free to leave me a little tip. Now let's get into it. It's becoming evident that people are just drinking less. According to Gallup, only 54% of American adults reported consuming alcohol in 2025, which is the lowest level ever. Gallup has been tracking American drinking behavior since 1939, so for a very long time, and over the past couple of years, drinking has just fallen off a cliff. Let's go ahead and take a look at a little chart here that I got from Gallup, which shows the percentage of Americans that use alcoholic beverages between 1939 and 2025. Back in 1958, we saw the second lowest level ever with 55% of Americans consuming alcohol. But really, since then, and especially over the past couple of decades, we've seen that people have been drinking. From 1997 to 2023, over 60% of American adults were consuming alcohol. And it's not until the past couple of years that we've just seen drinking falling off a cliff. So there are a variety of reasons for why this is, and we're going to get into those reasons in a moment here. Along with this, we're seeing that alcohol consumption is falling among all demographics. If we take a look at another visual here from Gallup, this shows the percentage change in alcohol consumption over the past couple of years among all of these different groups. We can see that just for adults in general, from 2023 to 2025, alcohol consumption has fallen by 8%. But if we look at some of these other groups, like the Republicans, for example, we've seen that from 2023 to 2025, 19% less Republicans have reported consuming alcohol. We can also see that the lower class, people making under $40,000 a year, have cut down their alcohol consumption by a lot. And maybe that has to do with the fact that alcohol is expensive, right? It's bad for your health, but it also hurts your bank account. So maybe some of these lower income individuals are realizing that, hey, if we stop drinking, if we put this out of our lives, it's going to allow us to save more money and live more comfortably, along with living more healthily. So we're seeing that everyone is really starting to put down the bottle in general, which is very interesting, and it makes you think this trend may continue. We're also seeing that drinkers are drinking less. In 2024, people were drinking 3.8 drinks a week, and in 2025, drinkers drank 2.8 drinks a week, so that's one whole drink less, and I'm sure this is something that alcohol businesses are not happy about. Alcohol businesses depend on people drinking, right? If people drink more, they make more money. But as consumers, as drinkers, I'm sure a lot of people are starting to think that, hey, a lot of stuff is coming out about drinking being more unhealthy. And if I want to make it into my later years and be happy and healthy during those years, I need to cut back on drinking and I need to drink less. So why are people moving away from alcohol? Let's be real, guys. The main and obvious reason is that drinking is just not great for your health. According to the World Health Organization and the US Surgeon General, alcohol consumption contributes to cancer, heart issues, and mental health problems. And the World Health Organization and US Surgeon General aren't the greatest sources, but they're right in this case, right? It is becoming clear to everyone that drinking is just not great for you. Now, that's not to say that drinking isn't fun, right? Going out and having a drink with your friends can be a good time. And who knows, maybe for some people, having a couple of drinks at the end of the day helps them mentally wind down. But it is becoming clear to most people that no amount of alcohol is really good for you. And we can see this in another poll from Gallup. So I'm going to pull up another little visual here, which shows the percentage of people that think that alcohol consumption in moderation is good for your health versus bad for your health, and also people that think it makes no difference. And as you can see with this orange dotted line, that is the percentage of people that think that moderate drinking is bad for your health. And as you can see, it is just moving higher. It has gone from 28% back in 2018 up to 53% in 2025. So a lot of people are coming out and saying that no amount of alcohol is great for you. One person who has come out and said this is Andrew Huberman. He's a very popular influencer in the health space, and he did a whole episode on alcohol consumption. He also does other episodes on like marijuana consumption and all these different health topics, but he basically came out with research and kind of debunked this whole narrative that a couple of drinks at night is good for you. A major contributor to this realization that moderate drinking isn't great for you has been the internet. We have all this information out there now, all these varying opinions that people can access. People can read articles, they can watch videos, and they can learn about the dangers of drinking and decide that, hey, this is something that maybe I don't want to do. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the younger generation is kind of leading the charge away from alcohol. This is a generation that's on the internet, that's probably watching all these videos about how it's not great for your health. And a lot of these kids and young adults are deciding that this is something I don't want to do. And with the younger generation leading the charge, I think that this trend could continue. This trend also kind of reminds me of cigarettes decline that we saw back in the 20th century. From 1930 to 1950, cigarettes were marketed as healthy, right? People were saying you should smoke cigarettes. It's great for you. But then in the 1950s, we started to get evidence that smoking cigarettes has a lot of harmful effects. And since then, we've seen cigarette consumption decline. And this makes me think that maybe alcohol could be on a similar trajectory. Now, another reason why people may be consuming alcohol less is because there's more competition out there. And I'm talking about marijuana, baby. Marijuana is now legal in about half the states in the country. And for a lot of people, they may be looking at marijuana as a healthier alternative. Now, obviously, smoking also has its dangers to your health, but maybe it's better for you than drinking. According to Gallup, from 2017 to 2019, around 12% of adults were using marijuana, and from 2023 to 2024, around 15% of adults were using marijuana. So we really haven't seen a big jump in marijuana use over the past couple of years. This makes me think that we aren't getting a lot of people moving away from the alcohol market and into the marijuana market. However, it is interesting that in these recent years, when alcohol has been declining, these are the years where we're seeing a lot of states come out and make marijuana legal. So I'm sure that it is having some impact, but maybe just not a strong impact. Looking at the alcohol market, it has not been doing great, guys, and this definitely has something to do with this decline in alcohol consumption. I took a look at some of the largest alcohol companies out there and their performance over the past 5 years, and it has been negative. If we look at Diageo PLC, I think that's how you pronounce it. They are the global leader in spirits, where you can think about brands like Smirnoff and Johnny Walker, which is included under them, and they are down 45.65% over the past 5 years. So not great. We've seen the stock market perform very well, but alcohol not doing so great. And we could take a look at a little chart of this company. As you can see, no bueno. It's been heading down. We could also look at a company like Anheuser-Busch. You can think of Budweiser or Corona. These are brands under them. This is the world's largest beer company, and they're down 10.78% over the past 5 years. So I think it makes sense that if people are drinking less, these alcohol companies are going to perform poorly, right? And if we see this trend continue, this is not going to be great for the alcohol market. And to be honest with you, I really don't think this is a great market to be investing in, right? If this is a part of the culture that people are moving away from because it's unhealthy, and if it could be on the same trajectory as cigarettes, then I don't think you want to be touching this market. And really, a market that I think is booming right now, and you could see it when you go on social media, is this health market. People are getting really into their health, right? People are working out a lot. We're seeing all these gym influencers. We're seeing all these healthy products like these coffee alternatives, these like mushroom products. One of my favorite health products are these Heart and Soil products, which are these meat-based products. I recommend you check them out. But people are really starting to invest more in their health. And I would much rather be invested in the health market than the alcohol market, because it seems like we are just seeing demand go down lower and lower for alcohol. To recap here, this trend of people consuming less alcohol will probably continue. I think it's in big part due to the internet and people just learning about the dangers of drinking and deciding that this is something they don't want to do for their health. We're seeing that the younger generation is drinking a lot less. We're seeing people focusing on their health and healthier products more, investing more in their health rather than going to a bar. So we're really seeing the culture shift a little bit, and this is going to have a big impact on the alcohol business, right? When we think about bars and breweries, they may have to find alternatives in order to get people into their business. Here in Oregon, we've seen that non-alcoholic beverages have become very popular. So who knows? Maybe we see that trend growing a bit. I know that every bar I go to here in Oregon, there's always a bunch of NA beers and NA options, and who knows? Maybe there are other alternatives out there. I don't think that people are going to stop drinking. I think that drinking is just such a part of the American culture. When European colonists came here from Europe, they brought strong drinking traditions. And really, drinking has been around for so long. When you go out to eat, when you go out to do anything, alcohol is always highlighted. And I think that people are always going to drink. I don't have anything against drinking. I think that drinking is fun if you do it responsibly, and it can be a great time. And people are going to indulge in unhealthy things, right? People eat fast food. They'll eat sweets and candy. They're also going to continue drinking alcohol. It just may be less people as more people are looking to focus on their health. That's going to wrap it up for this one. If you didn't like and subscribe, please make sure to do that now. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.